Welcome everyone! Today I want to show you the changes to the to the Overwhelming Surge set from Tempest Island. So this is how the set currently works and how it has worked for the last few years. I don't know if it was changed before, but anyway, yeah, it gives you a bunch of Magicka, some spell damage. When you activate a class ability, you have 15% chance to surround yourself with a torrent that deals 2500 something shock damage to the closest enemy within 12 meters of you every 1 second for 6 seconds. So 2500 times 6 is 5000 times 3, 15,000 damage in 6 seconds to one target. And there are two things that I never liked about the set. First is that you surround yourself with a torrent, but that only deals damage to one enemy. So in situations where you have a bunch of enemies around you, the set isn't really for that at all. But of course it is like a single target proc set, so against bosses kind of works, and they made it okay, so there's a range of 12 meters. You don't have to stand directly in front, but still 12 meters is kind of close for a mage. So this set was really strange, and the worst part is the activation, the proc. So when you activate a class ability, you have a 15% chance. This is such low, like I didn't... Okay, actually, no, we can't try. I don't have the set right now. Then I would try the uptime. But the problem is, not all your abilities that you use are class abilities, and only when you activate it, it can proc, and even then it only has a 15% chance, so every around 6th or 7th time you use one of these abilities, this will proc. So yeah, really kind of bad. Now let's check out the new set on the testing server. So, what's the difference here? The damage is a lot lower, but first of all, the activation is completely different now. Now it is when you deal damage with a class ability. And then it's 33% chance, but 33 is not just bigger than 15, so twice, more than twice as often. It's also when you deal damage, not when you activate. You can only activate an ability about once every second, and you don't use a class ability every second. But when you deal damage, so for example here on Necromancer, I mean this works with every class, but just as an example, this skeleton deals damage every 2 seconds, and it's a class ability, so this skeleton can actually proc the effect. My spammable can proc the effect every time I use it, and of course here when I have something like Boneyard. And yeah, Boneyard, this deals damage every 1 second, and yeah, if there's multiple enemies, it will deal damage multiple times per second, which means this is basically up instantly if you are fighting more than one enemy most of the time. So yeah, this is the first thing where I think maybe now this is a little bit over the top. However, if you're fighting, I mean, they did reduce the damage a lot, so in single target fights it's not as good anymore. And then it would still be up pretty much instantly. Yeah, I guess it's okay, the proc chance. I don't really care. But the other thing, so now it's still, the radius is still 12 meters, but it deals damage to all the enemies within 12 meters. And like, I really love this. I always love when sets are unique, and first of all, I love the fact that this is now an AoE set. But 12 meters, sure, I like it, but I think it's a bit much, because I don't really have any ability in mind that has such a big radius. Actually, that's not true. I think that one of the Templar that healing ritual or something, you can morph it so that it also deals damage, and this thing has also 12 or even 18 meters or so radius. But I think that's the only ability in the game that deals damage that has such a big radius. If we look at, for example, at Proximity Detonation, it has an 8 meters radius. Boneyard has 6 meters. I mean, okay, Wall of Elements is kind of an exception. This one has 18 times 8 meters, and probably the biggest, but okay, it's not radial, it's not around you, so I would say that doesn't really count. Then here, Pulsar This thing has 6 meters, and 6 meters, look how big 6 meters is. Yeah, then you have from the dual wield, I think, Whirlwind, here you have 6 meters, or if you take the morph Steel Tornado, 9 meters. 9 meters is pretty massive, but yeah, this set simply 12 meters, so it's really big. And now, a really cool change here is, or let's not say change, this is actually a new mechanic, Mana Leech. Or let's not call it Leech, it's not like you remove mana from your enemy, but still you get mana, Magicka, based on the damage you do. 15% of the damage you deal is restored to you as Magicka. So right now you can see my sustain isn't great. I will run out fairly quickly here. Okay, I guess we should call it a day. And you can also see the effect. So it works against single target, of course. And I'm interested to see the uptime. Of course, this will not be very accurate because the fight was so short. 27 seconds active and my mana is completely gone. And where is it? Overwhelming Surge, okay, 87% uptime. Yeah, of course, this is because this triggered maybe once or twice in this fight. No, actually, the active time was 27 seconds. So this had to trigger like 4 times or so. It's actually pretty good uptime against single target, if I may say so. And let's have a look at the damage. Overwhelming Surge, 1500 DPS, single target. Now, the main point that I wanted to show you is my Magicka was running out. Let's get rid of the potions after 27 seconds completely, and now let's try it against multiple enemies. So here we can actually spam Impulse, which is not the cheapest ability by any means. Also Proximity Detonation. Okay, actually my mana is getting low. But it does last way longer than at the single target. Sure, I did one heavy attack here in between, but this is probably going on for a minute right now. And in a normal situation, these enemies should all be dead by now. Okay, so let's call it a day. And we can do a direct comparison here in a minute. So let's have a look at, this was the single target fight. Here I had 618 mana per second from base regeneration. So I have a value of around 1200 in the stat sheet, where it displays the value for how much you restore in 2 seconds. Like, I don't know who came up with this stuff, but yeah. Overwhelming Surge against a single target restored 1124 per second. Now let's look at this fight. Here, Overwhelming Surge restored 740. In the stat sheet, this would mean equivalent to a regeneration of 1500 on top of everything else that I already have here. And yeah, as you can see, Storm Pulsar, this thing drains your Magicka like a bitch if you spam it. Yeah, but basically we almost completely cover the cost of spamming Pulsar just by having Overwhelming Surge. So yeah, this is like, in my opinion, this is a really cool set. It's not like the new, like, I think, like, because they nerfed the damage so much, like for single target, there's still probably a lot of people who will not use this, especially the pros and trial runners and so on. Also, it doesn't have minor slayer or something like that. So yeah, but for solo people and for soloers, yeah, that's basically, I don't know why I said that twice now, or just for fun. But I think even for trials, this could have its use, because I still think this pulsar guy could be like a role for dungeons where it's, oh hey, pulsar guy, come here, there's a lot of mobs, just please obliterate them with your pulsar. Maybe that's a thing, I don't know. And I think that's it. This video is probably already 20 minutes again. I don't know how I always manage to make it so long. Yeah, let me know if you're also excited about this set change, and see you next time.